Your soulmate's secret is online right now and heaven is pushing you to see it. My beloved child, something connected to your soulmate is closer to being revealed than you realize, and the most surprising part is that the clue may already be online right now. Something they once kept quietly inside has begun to leave a trace, and heaven is pushing your attention toward it for a reason. This is not about randomly searching for answers. It is about noticing what suddenly appears in front of you, the unexpected words, the familiar feeling, the small detail that seems ordinary until you understand what it connects to. Don't skip, because what comes next changes the meaning of this entire message. Your soulmate has been carrying something they could not easily express, something connected to the way they truly see you, and recently their energy around that secret has shifted. They are no longer asking themselves whether the truth matters. They are asking what will happen when you finally understand it. And that is why you may notice something unusual, a name appearing when you were thinking about them, a message that feels strangely connected to your situation, a song, picture, phrase, or online moment that instantly brings them into your mind. Stay till the end, because the biggest revelation is not simply what the secret is, it is why it is becoming visible now. Something huge is waiting for you, and every piece of this story is leading toward one realization your heart may not be expecting. There is another layer to this, and this is where everything becomes more surprising. Your soulmate may have tried to keep their feelings controlled on the outside while something completely different was happening within them. They may have convinced themselves that silence was easier, that waiting was safer, or that time would make these emotions smaller. But instead, the opposite happened. The more they tried to move their attention away, the more certain memories returned. A conversation. A look. Something you once said without realizing how deeply it stayed with them. And now a secret connected to those emotions may be leaving clues in the digital world, not necessarily as a direct confession, but as something that suddenly makes their inner truth easier to recognize. Don't skip. There is one detail that matters more than all the others: they have started seeing you differently. Not as someone they can simply forget, not as a passing chapter, but as someone whose presence changed something inside them. That realization surprised them too. They expected distance to bring clarity, but the clarity they received was completely different from what they imagined. It showed them what they were actually missing. Stay till the end, because the next truth is the one that brings the title of this message together. Heaven is not pushing you to chase your soulmate. It is pushing you to recognize what has been sitting in plain sight. Something huge is waiting for you, because the secret is connected to a decision they have been quietly moving toward, and now the hidden meaning begins to surface. Your soulmate's secret is not powerful simply because it exists, it is powerful because it could change how you interpret everything that came before. Moments that seemed confusing may suddenly make sense, their silence may look different. Their hesitation may reveal another meaning, even the times when you wondered whether you mattered to them could begin to feel completely different once this final piece becomes clear. Don't skip, because this is where the once-in-a-lifetime revelation begins. What if the thing they were hiding was never a lack of feeling, but the depth of feeling they did not know how to communicate? What if something online catches your attention at exactly the moment you were ready to stop wondering? You do not need to force anything or believe every coincidence is a message. Simply pay attention to what genuinely resonates and let reality reveal itself naturally. Because something has changed around this connection, and your soulmate may be closer than before to allowing their truth to be seen. Stay till the end of this journey, because the biggest piece has not been revealed yet. Something huge is waiting for you. The clue that appears first may only open the door. The real surprise is what your soulmate has decided to do after realizing they can no longer treat this connection like it means nothing. Something has shifted behind the scenes, and this is where your soulmate's hidden truth becomes impossible to overlook. What you may discover online is only the surface of something much deeper, because your soulmate has reached a realization they never expected to face. For a long time, they believed they could keep everything contained inside themselves. They thought they could continue normally, distract their mind, and let these feelings slowly disappear. But something unexpected happened instead, the more they tried to silence what they felt, the clearer you became in their thoughts. A memory returned at an unusual moment. Something reminded them of your presence. A simple phrase carried your energy back into their mind. And suddenly, they were confronting a truth they had been avoiding. You affected them more deeply than they ever admitted. Don't skip, because this is where the story turns. The secret connected to your soulmate may already be leaving subtle traces online, but the important part is not simply finding a post, a picture, a song, or a familiar phrase. The important part is understanding why their emotions are becoming harder for them to hide now. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. They are beginning to understand that keeping everything unspoken may eventually cost them the connection they secretly value, and that realization has created a completely different energy around their next move. Now comes the revelation they were not prepared for themselves. Your soulmate has been mentally revisiting moments involving you and seeing details they overlooked before. Something you said may have carried more meaning than they understood at the time. Something you did may have shown them a kind of care they later realized was rare. Even a small memory may now feel much bigger because they are comparing what they felt around you with what they feel when you are absent. Don't skip, because the surprising truth is that distance or silence did not necessarily erase the connection, it may have forced them to understand it. And this is where you should remain grounded while paying attention. You do not need to search endlessly or treat every online detail as proof. Let what is real reveal itself clearly. Heaven's push in this message is about awareness, not chasing. Something genuine does not need to be forced. Stay till the end, because the strongest part is still coming. Your soulmate may be approaching a point where merely thinking about you is no longer enough. Something huge is waiting for you, because their hidden truth is becoming connected to action. They have been considering what it would mean to stop hiding behind hesitation and finally allow you to see something authentic, but there is one final detail that makes this much bigger than it first appears. Your soulmate may not only be realizing how strongly they feel, they may also be wondering whether you have already moved beyond them. That question changes everything. Suddenly, time feels different to them. Suddenly, remaining silent does not feel as comfortable as it once did. They may wonder whether you still remember certain moments, whether you would understand their truth, and whether there is still space for an honest conversation. Don't skip, because this is exactly where the next stage begins. The secret online may become the first clue, but it is not the destination. The real revelation is the decision forming underneath it. Your soulmate is reaching a point where they must choose between continuing to hide what matters or becoming more honest about what has been living inside them. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. And what comes next could explain why certain signs, memories, and unexpected reminders have been appearing so strongly around this connection. Your soulmate secret has another layer, and once that layer opens, you may finally understand why they could never completely remove you from their heart. The next clue changes the entire story, because what your soulmate has been keeping private is no longer sitting quietly in the background. Something inside them has reached a turning point. They have begun looking at this connection through completely different eyes, and the realization surprised even them. There was a time when they believed they could simply wait, remain silent, and allow everything to settle naturally. But instead of becoming smaller, certain feelings became clearer. Your absence highlighted what your presence once gave them. Your silence made them remember conversations they had taken for granted. And something they recently saw, heard, or encountered may have brought your memory back with such intensity that they could no longer dismiss it. Don't skip, because the secret is beginning to connect with something bigger than emotion. Your soulmate has started questioning a decision they once believed was settled. They are wondering whether they misunderstood this connection, whether they waited too long, and whether you could still feel something when their truth finally becomes visible. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The online clue may catch your attention first, but behind that clue is a realization they have not openly expressed. Losing the possibility of you may feel far more significant to them than they expected. What happens next is even more surprising. Your soulmate may have started noticing how often their mind naturally returns to you without being invited. They could be doing something completely ordinary when suddenly a memory appears. A familiar phrase. A certain song. A photograph. A moment that once seemed small but now carries an entirely different meaning. And every time this happens, another layer of their resistance begins to disappear. Don't skip, because this is where the hidden truth becomes powerful. They are not simply remembering you, they are reconsidering you. They are looking back and recognizing qualities they may not have fully appreciated before. The way you made them feel understood. The way your presence carried a certain comfort. The way something about you remained unforgettable even when circumstances changed. But remain grounded. You do not need to turn every coincidence into proof or search endlessly for hidden messages. What is genuine will become clearer through real actions and honest communication. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate's secret may eventually become important not because you discovered a mysterious clue, but because they finally decide to make their feelings understandable instead of leaving you guessing. And now comes the part they may have been most afraid to admit to themselves. They have wondered what would happen if someone else recognized your value before they found the courage to express theirs. That thought creates urgency inside them. Suddenly, the possibility of waiting forever no longer feels comfortable. Suddenly, silence has consequences. They may begin asking themselves whether they should reach out, whether they should explain something from the past, or whether they should finally show you the side of themselves they kept protected. Don't skip, because the next revelation goes beyond everything you have heard so far. Your soulmate's secret is connected to a choice, and that choice is becoming harder to postpone. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because the next movement in this connection may not arrive as another confusing clue. It may arrive as clarity. Something direct. Something that makes you understand why this person could never completely forget what existed between you. And when their next decision becomes clear, you may realize that everything appearing now was only preparing you for the truth they were finally becoming ready to face. A completely different truth is rising now, and this is the moment your soulmate can no longer pretend that nothing has changed. Deep inside, they have reached a realization that keeps returning no matter how much they try to distract themselves. What they felt around you was different. There was something about your presence that stayed with them long after certain moments ended. Something you said still echoes in their thoughts. Something about the way you understood them still feels difficult to replace. And now, as they look back, pieces that once seemed disconnected are beginning to form one clear picture. Don't skip, because this is where their secret becomes even more surprising. They may have recently come across something online that reminded them of you so strongly that it reopened emotions they believed they had already placed behind them. Maybe it was a familiar idea, a photograph, a phrase, or something completely ordinary that suddenly carried extraordinary meaning. In that instant, their attention returned to you. But the real revelation is what happened afterward. Instead of pushing the thought away, they allowed themselves to wonder what could happen if they finally stopped hiding. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Your soulmate is no longer only remembering this connection. They are beginning to imagine what honesty could change. There is something even deeper underneath that realization. Your soulmate may have been afraid that revealing too much would make them vulnerable, so they chose silence whenever their emotions became difficult to explain. But silence did not solve what they were feeling. It only created unanswered questions. Now those questions are becoming impossible for them to ignore. What if they had spoken sooner? What if you misunderstood their distance? What if the connection still has something meaningful left to reveal? Don't skip, because one of the strongest shifts is happening right here. Instead of asking themselves why they still think about you, they may now be asking what they should do about it. That is a completely different question. It turns emotion into possibility. It turns memory into intention. And it brings the online secret back into focus, because whatever catches your attention should not be treated as absolute proof. Real truth becomes meaningful when actions support it. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because your soulmate may be realizing that hints and silence cannot communicate what genuine honesty can. If this connection matters as much as they are beginning to believe, eventually something clearer must happen, and that leads to the revelation that could change how you understand everything before it. Your soulmate may be closer to making a move than their previous behavior would ever suggest. Not because some mysterious force guarantees an outcome, but because their own thoughts are pushing them toward a choice: continue carrying the secret privately, or finally become more open about what you mean to them. Don't skip, because there is still another layer. They may have imagined approaching you more than once, only to stop themselves at the last moment. They have wondered what you would say. They have wondered whether you would recognize the sincerity behind their words. Most importantly, they may have wondered whether they still have a place in your heart at all. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The next part of this story is not simply about discovering what has been hidden online. It is about what happens when your soulmate realizes that the truth cannot live forever behind hints, memories, and unspoken feelings. Their biggest secret may be moving toward its biggest test, whether they are finally ready to turn what they feel into something you can actually see. Now the story reaches a point your soulmate never expected, because the secret is beginning to change them from the inside. They are no longer looking at you through the same lens they once did. Something has become painfully clear in their thoughts. There are connections people can casually leave behind, and then there are connections that continue returning because something meaningful was never fully expressed. Don't skip, because this is where everything starts moving toward the revelation you have been waiting for. Your soulmate may have recently remembered one specific moment involving you, a conversation, a look, a small act of kindness, or words they did not fully understand when they first heard them. But now that memory feels different. They are seeing what was hidden inside it. They are realizing you may have given them something emotionally rare, the feeling of being understood without constantly having to explain themselves. And once they recognize that, another question appeared: why did they allow something so meaningful to become surrounded by silence? Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The online clue that brought your attention here may only be the beginning. What matters now is that your soulmate is approaching a realization that could completely change what they choose to do next. But here is the surprising part: their biggest struggle may not be understanding their feelings anymore. It may be wondering whether they still have time to express them. Somewhere inside, they know your life has continued. They know you have grown, changed, and become stronger in ways they may not have witnessed. And that creates a question they cannot easily silence: what if you no longer need the answer they waited so long to give? Don't skip, because that thought has the power to change hesitation into intention. Your soulmate may be realizing that waiting indefinitely could mean losing the opportunity to ever tell you what was truly happening inside them. They may have imagined reaching out, explaining themselves, or finally revealing why certain moments unfolded the way they did. Yet each time they imagine it, another emotion appears: the uncertainty of how you would respond. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because this is exactly why real actions matter more than mysterious hints. You do not need to chase every online sign or assume every coincidence is connected to them. If something genuine is unfolding, clarity will eventually become stronger than confusion. And your soulmate may be moving closer to understanding that they cannot expect you to read a secret they refuse to communicate. The final shift in this moment is the strongest one yet. Your soulmate may have stopped asking, "Can I keep this hidden?" and started asking, "What happens if I never say it?" Those questions lead to completely different futures. One keeps everything trapped inside imagination, the other forces them to confront what truly matters. Don't skip, because their answer may surprise you. The possibility of never letting you know how deeply this connection affected them may now feel heavier than the possibility of finally being honest. That does not guarantee what they will choose, but it changes the direction of their thoughts. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The secret that seemed to exist only behind an online clue is becoming something much more real. A decision about whether to remain silent or step forward with clarity. And there is still one revelation you have not heard, the exact realization that made your soulmate understand why you kept returning to their thoughts even when they believed they had moved forward. Once that truth becomes clear, everything about their next move may finally make sense. What your soulmate finally understood could be the turning point of this entire connection, because the reason you kept returning to their thoughts was not something they could explain away anymore. They began noticing that memories of you did not appear only when they felt lonely or nostalgic. They appeared during ordinary moments, during good moments, and sometimes exactly when they believed they were completely focused on something else. That realization made them look deeper. Don't skip, because what they discovered surprised them. They were not simply missing a person, they were remembering how different they felt when you were part of their emotional world. Around you, something inside them felt seen. Certain conversations carried a depth they did not recognize until later. Certain moments gave them a sense of connection they assumed would be easy to experience again, but time showed them otherwise. And suddenly, the secret they had kept buried became much harder to ignore. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The clue that may be visible online is only one piece of this. The bigger truth is that your soulmate has begun comparing who they were before this connection, who they became while experiencing it, and who they are now. That comparison has revealed something they were not prepared to admit, knowing you changed something inside them. Then came another realization, and this one challenged everything they had been telling themselves. Your soulmate may have believed that if something was truly meant to matter, it would always be simple. But looking back, they began understanding that some of the strongest feelings are exactly the ones people struggle hardest to express. Their hesitation may have created distance. Their uncertainty may have made their behavior difficult to understand. Yet now they are seeing the consequences of leaving important things unsaid. Don't skip, because this is where the story moves beyond memories. They may have started imagining one honest conversation with you, not a perfect moment, not some dramatic scene, but a real conversation where nothing important is hidden behind vague signals. What would they tell you first? What would they finally explain? What would they want you to understand about everything they never said? Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because those questions are beginning to create an answer. And remember, you do not need to search endlessly through the internet or turn every post into a sign. Let reality do the revealing. A genuine connection becomes clearer through consistent actions, honest words, and choices you can actually recognize. If your soulmate has truly reached this turning point, their next step will need to become clearer than any hidden clue, and now comes the shift that could bring everything full circle. Your soulmate may have realized that the secret was never just about what they felt for you. It was also about what they were afraid those feelings could require from them: honesty, courage, vulnerability, and the willingness to accept an answer they cannot control. Don't skip, because this changes everything. For perhaps the first time, they may understand that revealing the truth does not guarantee the outcome they want, but keeping it hidden guarantees that you may never know it at all. That realization is powerful enough to challenge their old pattern of hesitation. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The next stage could reveal whether these thoughts remain private or finally become action. Somewhere inside your soulmate, a decision is forming around one simple truth: if you genuinely mattered, then you deserved clarity rather than endless uncertainty. And there is still one final layer beneath that decision, something connected to why this secret seems to be surfacing now instead of months ago or years from now. Once that reason is revealed, you may understand why this particular moment feels so different from everything that came before.